In order to be successful for today's instruction, ladies and gentlemen, you need to have a focus, a study guide, and a whiteboard. So here we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is it called according to cultural personalities? What is it called when we here in the United States have a high belief that bad things won't happen to us? What is it called? According to cultural personalities, we believe that bad things don't really happen to us. For instance, no one is really freaking out about the coronavirus because we know we're in the United States and we're going to be okay. What is it, Jessica? There you go. According to cultural personalities, what is it called when we as Americans believe there is a small or a low gap between us and the powerful and that we do have a say? So if you love Donald Trump, you can support Donald Trump in November 2020. If you hate Donald Trump, you can vote him out of office in November 2020. What is that called, Curtis? Our distance. On your whiteboard, please tell me, according to cultural personality, what is it called when we care more about our own needs, our own thoughts, versus our families? So when we think about our own, what does success look like if you're American, even if you're Asian American, Hispanic American, you still think about yourself first rather than your collective. What is that? Margot? Individualism. On your whiteboard, what is it called when you put your family's needs first? You would never take an opportunity that would take you away from your family that you couldn't provide for. You would never. Everything you do when you wake up is, how can I better support my family? What is that called, Emily? Collectivism. On your whiteboard, what is it called when, as a society, your culture kind of gives into what the masses? The United States is a perfect example of this, okay? The United States is a perfect example of this. We come in and we say, you know what? We have the biggest government, the largest military in the world, and if you don't do this, we're going to blow you up. That's what we said to Palestine 2 weeks ago. What is that, Hayden? Masculinity. We go in and we smash our way into things. On your whiteboard, please tell me. This is very hard, so please listen carefully. It is a method of personality assessment in which the professional asks questions and the client responds. This may be too difficult for you to answer. What is it, Alexis? Oh my God, how exciting. Interviews. Very tricky. On your whiteboard, what is it called when you only ask super easy questions to the person and it makes them look wonderful and just brilliant, when in fact there might be terrible people? What is it, Kate? Halo effect. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what are my two major projection tests? What are the names of my two major projection tests? Good. What do we got, Jalissa? There you go. TAT, you can shorten it if you want to say TAT to make things easier for you. The Matic apperception test and the Rorschach. On your whiteboard, please tell me which of the projection tests has 10 pictures of nothing. I never said you could shorten that one down, but sure. What is it? Kelly?
The Rorschach
inkblot test. Which one has weird pictures of humans interacting? There you go. What is that? Sydney? Perfect. On your whiteboard, please tell me, when you're looking at these, there's no correct answer, and they're incredibly vague, and they're subjective.
That'll be a long flight today.
I think I do deserve that line. No, I don't. Because you know your girl's getting like a good size McFlurry. And there's a lot of key lime pie left. On your whiteboard. On your whiteboard. Please tell me. What is it called when, if I wanted to see if you have ADHD and every time you got out of your desk, I'd made a little check mark for every time you got out of your seat, what would that be called? Ooh. Ooh, be careful. Be careful. I have a lot of wrong answers on this one. What is it called, Annie? It's a frequency count, because every time you get up, I make a little check, yes? Listen to the language. Now, if you were being, what is it called when I ranked you on a scale of 1 to 5 on how much attention you are paying to the classroom instruction every minute? What is that called, Jalen? A rating scale. Both rating scales and frequency counts all happen to occur when a professional goes into someone's classroom or work environment and watches that person. What is it, Olivia? Okay, so direct observation. During a direct observation, you have both rating scales and frequency counts happening. Mr. Bush gets a direct observation every single year. There will be one random person. You'll see him be followed around every moment of every day by a dude or a chick who is literally counting. Every minute they write down what he's doing to see how effective he's using his time and how ineffective he's using his time. Every year, every principal in the system has one of these checks. And that person just follows him around for a whole week, and they do rating scales. How involved is Mr. Bush in whatever conversation he is on a scale of 1 to 5? Super involved, or is he sitting there on his phone, essentially? And then a frequency count. How many times did you talk to a student today? How many times did you talk to another principal, and all those types of things? That's all falls under the umbrella of direct observation. All right, I think that's pretty much where we left off, yeah? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I do want to make a couple of modifications to what we did cover on Friday. So, on your study guide, where it has, may I borrow, Connor? Okay, on your study guide, where it has individualism, power distance, masculinity, femininity, and uncertain avoidance, I would write cultural, I want cultural personalities. That's what I would write to simplify and make it a little bit easier. Cultural personality. So over here, where it has the first 4 boxes, I would write cultural personalities. It'll help you keep things under understanding where things fall. Okay? So, where you see on your study guide where it says where it says Rorschach Inkblot test and thematic apperception, I would write psychoanalysts use them. So maybe over here in your application box, psychoanalysts are the ones using them.
On which one?
On both Rorschach and thematic apperception. So those are psychoanalysts who are using those. So you do need to know that for your test on Wednesday, by the way. So psychoanalysts are using those. And then on Friday, we also talked about our direct observations, rating scales, and frequency counts. You need to know those are used by behaviorists. So your frequency counts, your direct observations, and rating scales are all used by behaviorists. So I would put behaviorists into those boxes somewhere so you know all 3 of those are used by behaviorists. Huh? No, that's fine, but I want to make sure you have it on your study guide too, because there's a bunch of questions on it. It is on your focus, right, Kate? That's what you're telling me? Yeah, you can fill it in on your focus because it asks who used these, and it's behaviorists for that. But psychoanalysts are the ones using your Rorschach and your thematic. Your behaviorists are the ones using your direct observation, your rating scale, and your frequency count. Okay. Then you have your personality inventories. These are your trait theorists who use these. So in your personality inventories, which is your NeoPi, MBTI, those 2 abbreviations you're going to see, those are all personality inventory, and they are done by trait theorists. So you have 3 boxes. One that says personality inventory, NeoPi, and MBTI. I would write trait theorist, used by trait theorists. Olivia, what do you need, my love? I'm here to help. What do you need?
I was just wondering for the first thing you said, where did we put that?
Cultural personality.
So, is that under the first?
Yeah, the first 4 boxes. Next to it, I would identify that as cultural personalities. Like it looks at a country as a whole, like Norway versus the United States.
Okay.
What?
So when you're saying, so rating scales and frequency counts, those are types of direct observation?
Yeah, they fall under the umbrella of it.
And then types
So in a direct observation, you're counting how many times the person does something, which is a frequency count. And then you're also evaluating how, if they're doing ADHD, for instance, which is typically when we see professionals in classrooms watching kids' behavior, it's for ADHD. How focused are they on the content?
So then the direct observation would be like a behavior approach?
Yeah, direct observation is all done by behaviorists. Which makes sense, because they don't care why you're doing it. They just care
That you are.
that you are doing it. What do you got, Kate?
What is this type of assessment for direct observation? That's just like
Type of assessment, it's just behavioral. What?
What would an application of personality inventory be?
Oh, I haven't gotten there yet, because that's where we left off, my love. Which is where I'm gonna start. Okay, here we go. So personality inventory is where we left off. You may have it filled in, but let's review. It is a paper, pencil, computerized test. They're very similar to like Cosmo quizzes. Have you ever taken one of those quizzes in the back of like a magazine? Or BuzzFeed?
BuzzFeed.
Yes, I think I told you my husband and I took what type of White Claw we are. Both of us are mangoes, so clearly we're destined to be together forever. If anything proves it, the fact that we're both mango White Claws, prove it. And that's how basic we are, so thank you so much. So with that being said, a personality inventory, it's a standardized test. In your application, I would absolutely acknowledge it is a standardized test. What does that mean? You should know this because you are the generation of standardized tests. What does that mean, Annie? It is the same for every single person, which makes it comparable. You need to write that down. It is a standardized test, which means it can be comparable. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I did a direct observation on you on Friday and a direct observation on you today, would I have the same behaviors? No. Because, on Thursday. Because you had a 3-day weekend to look forward to, yes? Weren't you excited, happy, joyful? And today, aren't we all crushed with the sadness of a full 5-day week, but with a 3-day weekend? Oh, we're not excited about this 3-day weekend?
oh, we're excited.
It's just not there yet.
Your girl deserves it, because it's DBQ Hell Week. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, okay, are observations reliable? Hello?
Yeah.
Are they comparable? No, because if your birthday was Thursday morning and I gave a kid who's getting tested for ADHD a cupcake for breakfast because it's his birthday, and then he got observed that day, is that going to give me good results or bad results? Yeah. Oh gosh, terrible day to get watched, right? Standardized test means we can make direct comparisons and it's easier. So the first one is called the NeoPi. The NeoPi is based on the 5-factor model. Does anyone remember what the 5-factor model is from last week? What is it, Grace Mary?
It's like openness.
Yeah, it's the ocean one. Openness, conscientiousness, neuroticism, extrovertism. No, that was not it. Whatever. It's the ocean one we went through. So it's based on the 5-factor model. And then we have the MBTI, which is known as the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. You need to write that out. On your focus, you need to write Myers-Briggs Type Indicator in one of the boxes. And it's based on Carl Jung. Oh my gosh, we love Carl Jung. Who can remind me from last week, what is Carl Jung's biggest theory? Sydney.
The collective unconscious.
Yes, he's your collective unconscious. Remember, he's like besties with Freud until Freud went too far, and that's the man who really broke Freud's heart. Because they used to write wonderfully long 30, 40-page letters to each other, and then he's like, Freud, you've done it. You've pushed me too far. I will turn my back on you forever. And they never spoke. And that was the one person who really broke Freud's heart. Keep in mind, his daughter also turned his back on her, too. But Carl Jung, they were besties. There's rumor of love. Camden.
So what's the neo high?
Oh, we're getting there, girl. We're going to go back and add some more information to this.
So excited.
I wouldn't. But it's not as anticlimactic.
That's a lot of writing.
And then you have the MMPI-2, which is on the bottom, by the way. Second from the bottom. So I would make sure next to MMPI-2 in the box that you write personality inventory to make sure you understand it falls under this category as well. So in the box I would write personality inventory because they're not next to each other, which doesn't really make sense why I didn't put them next to each other, but here we are. I didn't know why I didn't put them together, but I didn't. So that's why we're writing personality inventory next to it. And this is used to detect abnormal personality. So if you know anyone who's been diagnosed with like bipolar disorder or we have antisocial personality, borderline personality disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, any of those types of disorders, yes, they've been diagnosed using the MMPI-2, which we'll get to. Okay, so there are numerous personality tests, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm going to get into the explanations of each of them, but listen to me clearly. You can Google all of these tests and you can take a version. Did you hear what I said? A version of the test online. A version. No, it's someone has modified it to put it online and scare people. Just like WebMD. You know how if you type like, oh man, I have like a headache, and then all of a sudden you have a brain tumor and you have like a month to live? Yeah, that's exactly what they've done. Like one kid was showing me that no matter what answer you put into MMPI-2, every single person was getting diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder affects less than 3% of the entire world's population. Do you think we all happen to have it right here? No. That would be wild, though, wouldn't it? That'd be crazy. That would just be the craziest thing. We'd have all the psychologists coming to study us. That'd be cool. Anyway, okay, you need to know that if you decide to go online and take one of these tests to see if you have any disordered behavior, you're an idiot. Because if you have one of these disorders and like they're really testing you, it takes a professional to administer it. But more importantly, it takes a professional to take your answers and then see if it's actually true. Does that make sense? It's not just something you can take online. Like for instance, I know you might be shocked about this, but I know BuzzFeed said that I was a mango. White Claw. But sometimes I like the blackberry. Oh, I know. Well, I haven't drank in a while, quite clearly. But what I'm saying is, just because BuzzFeed said it doesn't mean it's factual. Now, if I went to a doctor and they said, you can only have mangoes for the rest of the day, this is the dumbest explanation. Don't follow everything on the internet. So don't do it. All right, here we go. Personality inventories. Here we go. Myers-Briggs. Here we go. This is a little bit more information that you need to know. The Myers-Briggs or MBTI is all about the 4 principles, and you need to know. These are your 4 major principles: valuing, visioning, directing, and relating. What? What, my White Claw versus my black?
No, you just like
Oh, I just
yeah.
don't feel like turning around. I'm like awfully miserable. Okay, so there are 4 parts you need to know. Anyone ever taken one of these? You, like, if you've ever done like an intelligence test, they usually pair this with it, where you got told whether you are. So, I really hate these stupid things. Okay, so if you want to do the MBTI, there are essentially, you get 4 letters. Okay, so looking at this box, I mean, we're cheating. Are you more of a relating person or are you a visionary? Do you connect well to people or do you come up with your own path? Come up with your answer in your head. Are you your own person or are you really good at interacting with other people? I'm good at my own thing. I'm not really good at working with people. I don't know if you've noticed, I stay in my room. Okay, now, so keep in mind, are you over here or over here? Do you value other people and what they say and how they do? Do they have a high impact on you or a low impact? Or are you one of these people who is always in charge? Do you see the value of working with other people or are you a person who has to be in charge? So, find out where you are. If you feel very strongly towards one of these 4, okay, then that should be the box. So if I feel very strongly about kind of doing things my own way, then I'm over here. Which one do you feel more strongly about? Leading the way, taking charge and giving direction, relating to other people, or valuing. So what color are you immediately? Then, with that being said, are you more of a relating to people within? So are you the inventor, the architect, the field marshal, stuff like that? And it kind of pulls you through. On the test, they give you like 115 questions, and you fill it out, and they'll tell you exactly. It pops up with this little number. If you're going to take one online, this isn't the worst one to take. Yeah, because companies use it all the time. Like McRae's company, if you decide to apply at McRae's company, they apply it. Target. Anyone here ever applied to Target? No one, of course. I'm in South Tampa. You people don't get jobs. Anyway, 90% of you people don't. Tell me I'm wrong. Some of you do. I know. I saw one on us yesterday. Hey, girl. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to Target, you fill out an MBTI indicator, a brief. Publix also does an. Anyone here applied out of Publix? Yeah. You remember how long that damn application is? That's because you take one of these stupid things. I mean, wonderful things. Very insightful. MMPI. Here we go. MMPI. What? Yes. Is used to identify disorders. Okay? It is used by diagnosing disorders, and it is based on a scale system. That's all you need to know. It's used to identify disorders, and it uses a scale system. You've taken surveys that have scales to them. On a scale of 1 to 10, how often do you go out with your friends? Yes? And you go, like, probably 3. Right? That makes sense? Okay. I just hate this stuff so much. It's not. It does give me anxiety. I just hate this. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did some
Gross.
Oh wait, we need 16, yeah.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So 16 PF is an hour-long test.
It's on your phone.
It's on your focus.
Top of that.
Pop back. You didn't think to look on the other side? So, in the first column, I'm really like helping you out today. Type of assessment, it's personality inventory. Then most likely used by trait theorist. Thank you so much for listening, Connor. Unique characteristics about the test. Okay, it has 16 components, 16 scales. I think I have a cheat sheet.
Describe test.
It has 16 scales.
That's it.
Yeah. Huh? What did you say? Are you being mean to me?
No.
She wants to steal your cheat sheet. Fill it out.
I just hate this shit.
I do my work.
Yeah, she does. My girl grinds.
He knows
She wants to cheat.
your work.
I hope you don't do his work. You've got better things to do than that shit. Okay. Oh, I actually have printed out tests. Who would do that shit? Anyway. Alright, so the big things you need to know about your Perfect. Got out of it. Guys, we'll have all this filled in tomorrow for you. How's that? Does that work?
Sounds good.
Yeah. I'm not that worried about it. It's not that hard, and there's like 4 questions on it, so. Goodbye. Yes, my love.
Oh, I have to stay for the base here, but I don't have to stay here. Can I stay for one of my hours?
Of course, my girl. You're always more than welcome.
No.
Of course, of course. If you just want to sit at the back of your row, Maggie, I don't have anyone back there.